Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking another look at the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flowers in a Watering Can set. This is set number 31149. It has 420 pieces and I paid $30 for this set. I've already done a video about the main model here. As you can see, it's the flowers with the butterflies in this watering can, which means in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the first alternate build for this set. And the one I'm going to do first is this one, which appears to be a rain boot as used as a planter, like the watering can here. With some flowers in that, and then in a later video after this one I'll be looking at the last model in this set, and I'll maybe look at one community made model, one or two or three of this set as well. So excited to look at this, excited to see how this is. It looks like it uses some of the pieces that were like hidden inside the watering can element in here, so that is nice to see how they're being used, and I'm excited for it, excited about this one. I like botanicals, I like Lego insects, I like Lego birds, so this set has a lot to offer me. So in this video I'm going to take this apart, the main model, and I'm going to put this alternate model together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I disassemble this and while I build this, I'll speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review the alternate build for this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the disassembly for the main build of this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flowers in a Watering Can, and while we look at the build process for the first alternate build, which is flowers, different flowers in a rain boot planter, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. So it actually took me quite a longer than I thought to disassemble the main model, and these flowers and the butterflies were some of the more time-consuming elements here. I also have trouble with some of the colors in this set, so I don't know if I sorted them all appropriately, and that may lead or may have led to some issues in the build for this alternate model. I just try to do my best, and you know, that's all I can say. I try to do, so please forgive me if I did get some colors wrong. But now that we have that all disassembled, we'll start working on the rain boot. And again, like the watering can, we do use some of those printed eye tiles on the inside of this that will never be seen, which is kind of silly. But we're kind of making the black rubber bottom of the shoe or of this boot with the tread, some nice curves around the toe and at the heel, nice curves to go up sort of the ankle. And then like the watering can, we have a ton of studs on the side and brackets being used, as well as some interesting pieces and colors all throughout. We put on the back panel some of the stuff on the front, and then we can work on the side panels here, which have a nice little cutout for those curved plates at the base there. We add a couple leaves to the base of this. We do all the flowers here. They're done in a different way. They're a different type of flower than in the main build. So once we get all those done, we're pretty much finished. So thank you, and now on to my review for this alternate model of this set. Okay, so that is the first alternate build for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flowers in a Watering Can set. This is the alternate build that is like flowers in a, I call these galoshes, but it's like a rubbery rain boot here. This is pretty good. I did have some issues with, well, first of all, separating the pieces from the main one was a pain. Disassembling the main model was not as quick or easy as I would have liked. And I also have some trouble. There are many pieces in this set that are similar colors to me that I'm not 100% certain I got all the colors right. And the first thing we'll take a look at and make note of is all the leftover pieces. So these are all the pieces that were in the main set but were not in the alternate build here. So the notable exclusions, like this kind of tube Technic kind of piece here, this one, all three of these octagonal pieces, all of the hinges, which I think I wrongly referred to these as gray in the first video, but now I'm seeing maybe they are kind of green. A good amount of these clear pieces with the clip, and then all these different color pieces. And there are some in here that maybe were supposed to be used in different parts but weren't. Also a lot of the black pieces, the smaller ones that were used for the butterfly bodies, these three green bar elements which were used for the stems, and so those are kind of the overview of the pieces that are left over, not in this model but in the main model. And then I wanted to get into this, so I was a little bit surprised by the scale. I probably should have had a better understanding of the scale when looking at the images. I could have counted the studs. This isn't that big. It's probably a similar height to the watering can, maybe a little bit taller. It is not as wide this way, but this dimension it's probably a little wider, and it does have the whole boot part here. So when you start building this, I thought it was kind of interesting. You kind of start working on the back portion of this with some black plates, all of the like black sole of this build, and you do that in like separate kind of sub-assemblies and attach it all together, kind of tile it out. It actually works really nicely. I think it gets the shape across. There's some, harder corners here on the back, whereas the front it's pretty rounded out. I like the use of the arch pieces there to kind of indicate maybe some tread on the shoe so it doesn't like slip when walking or everything like that. And then we start building up the toe. This is well constructed, well designed, as is this curve here. And then we have some similar techniques that were used on the watering can all the way around this. So we use these kind of slopes on the front, a lot of studs there, and then the rest of this has a ton of snot bricks, or studs not on top bricks, bricks with studs on the top but also on the side, maybe one side, maybe two sides, and some stuff like that. A lot of the brackets are used up front, but there is still a lot of studs on the side stuff to do these. And then each of these panels, like this one, that's all kind of tiled out with these slopes and these tiles, that's all kind of a sub-assembly. Same over here. I do like the use of these curved plates and this triangular tile there. Those weren't visible in the main set. They were used in the interior of the watering can, but they make an appearance here. So I do like and I do appreciate how the designer had some pieces in the main build that weren't visible but then were pretty integral to the design for this one. So I really like that. For the most part, the build here is pretty straightforward. There's a lot of interesting colors in here, just making do with the parts that were available and everything there. So there is stuff in here. It's more visually kind of wild in the inside of this than it might initially appear. And then we kind of finish it out by building up the flowers. So again, it's 3 flowers, and first we have kind of these parts here where there's like leaves. I don't know what these parts are supposed to be, maybe just flower petals that fell or different things. I don't know if it's supposed to be life or not, but those are holding on some leaves kind of at the ground level in here, or where the topsoil is. We do use these curved clear pieces which held the butterflies in the main one to make the flowers, which is kind of nice and kind of not. I think, they work really well as clear for the butterflies. For this, to try to convey, the stem, it is a different technique, but it does feel a bit more artificial to me than even just the green stuff with the hinges there. But these don't have nearly as robust flowers, and so they don't cover up as much of the stem, and so I don't know about the clear version of that, but it is a kind of an inventive use of pieces. Nice to see a different way to do things. Again, I'm a little disappointed that the flowers are all built essentially the same way with the same pieces, just with different colors. And like I said, I had some trouble with the colors in this. So we have kind of some petals here. There's a little bit of a different yellow at the tip of each one. We use a round stud in there. Over here we kind of have like some pale blue, but I also might have mixed in some purple in there. And then over here, these pieces that are that pale yellow, I think might have been intended to be, I don't know if this is quite white or if this is like that really light kind of aqua color or pinkish bluish, but very, very light. I don't really know. It's hard for me to tell. Sometimes I have a better time telling when looking at the monitor that feeds back the input from the camera that I use, and I can sometimes tell like a little more, like this one, these little tiles at the end of there and kind of on the bottom don't in person really appear to me to be much different, but when looking at the monitor it seems a little more apparent. So I'm not sure I have these all done right. They do use a couple of the translucent clips in there, and then the kind of base for the flower, or the main bulb of the flowers, are all done the same, with these kind of flower spots, the rounded plates, inverted tiles with some studs in there. So these were done in a different way than in the main build, and these do represent some different flowers than the main one. Overall, I wish there was maybe some better ways for a colorblind person to interact with Lego, especially in a set like this that has some colors that are quite similar to each other, at least in my eyes. But I try to do my best. So when looking at this, it's possible that some of these colors in here are wrong. It's possible that in the build portion there's some colors that I used internally that were maybe supposed to be used for the leaves or the flower petals or something like that, but just forgive me for that, please, because I'm just doing the best I can working with it. I think I get the general essence of this set in the right way. I think this is kind of what it's supposed to be, so that's really nice. The build was pretty quick. I think it is identifiable as a rain boot. It is small, but not too different in scale from the watering can. And in this case, I don't know if the scale between the planter or the thing that holds the plants versus the plants themselves is better or not. This might be closer to appropriate scale. This one's obviously like a little less dense up here in the plant area, just because they don't have as many petals or leaves. They also don't have the butterflies or anything else kind of operating around these plants, so it is a little easier there and not as just congested. But overall, I think this is really good. It's not perfect. There's a few reasons it's not perfect. One of the main ones that was evident to me is, these kind of weird colors used to hold down the leaves, and then being able to see some of these weird colors here that should probably just be yellow, that we can see. And I thought there was maybe a way to kind of cover those up. I'm not sure if there is a good way, but I would have liked it. I mean, that's not ideal, but it could be something, and with all the other pieces in here, there's maybe a way to do that. I think I was anticipating these being used to somehow to maybe do some curves as well, and I don't know if that was attempted or not, but there might be a way to get this on here that kind of obscures the colors that stick out of there. So that's not perfect, but for the most part, I think the design of the rain boot here is pretty good. I think the design of the flowers is fine. Again, I don't know what type of flower these are supposed to represent, but they're okay. It's the same colors as the main one, and still, I'm not super thrilled that the flowers in this instance are pretty much all done the exact same. I maybe would have liked a little more variety in those in the main model and in this model. So that's a bit of a letdown. Of course, I could have known that based on the image here, but I was holding out hope. For the most part, I think they did a pretty good job. This one's not the one I would choose to display if I was between like between the watering can with flowers and butterflies and this one. I like the main build a little bit better. If I had need for some of these other parts and wanted to keep this, that could make sense, but the watering can build I think really worked. But I do like seeing like this shape and kind of all the little details in the shape of the rain boot here I think are pretty good, and it works as a planter. It's quite cute, and so I like that about it. I've already kind of talked about the leftover pieces here. I don't have in front of me the extra pieces that Lego would put in a given set because they're light enough that they do that. I talked about it in the first video. I will put an image of the extra pieces kind of in this area so you can see those, and if you have any issues or if your extra pieces look different than what's displayed here, you can maybe cross-reference that and check and everything here. Overall, I think this is fine. I fear that this is also going to be a pain to take apart. Probably not as much as the other one because the pedals for the other one are all small pieces and not that great but to take apart, but you know, that's all pretty good here. So I like that, and I think I don't know exactly how many pieces this set used. You can kind of do the comparison here. It might have only used in like the 200 piece range, although it's hard to estimate exactly unless I counted all the extra pieces. And I don't know, this might use the fewest pieces out of all the builds in this set, and I'll be looking at the next build in another video upcoming after this one. But in terms of value, this certainly doesn't feel like a $30 set right here. It's probably closer to the $20 mark, which if the full set was found for 20% off, we're getting kind of close to it. It's not one of the cases where I think like the alternate model or this alternate model is super extraordinary, maybe better than the main one or as good as the main one. It's just slightly I'm slightly less favorable towards this one, at least right now. Maybe it'll grow on me, maybe it'll change, but I think the main build is a little bit stronger. But in terms of value, you know, this feels okay. Yeah, probably $20, $15 value I would place on this, given the piece exclusions. There are some similar things, again, using some pieces inside of here that are different. You can actually see down on the bottom, those are the eye tile that were not used in a meaningful way or a visible way in the main model or in this model. I don't necessarily even know why they're in there, but they are. Those will be used in the third or the last model in this set, so I'm excited to see that. But as I've said before, and I'll say again, I do like Lego flowers. I like when they come with a planter or a container, you know, for them to stand in. That's always a big thing for me, so I do still like this well enough, and I think, you know, there's some members of my family that would quite like this, and so that's all good value-wise. You know, we get 3 models for one set, so I'm still feeling comfortable with the $30 for the amount of pieces that are in this set as a whole, and I think that's everything. So in another video, I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to put together the last alternate build, which appears to be 2 birds. And I don't know if this flower is the same as the ones in the main model, but time will tell. And I'm looking forward to that because I like Lego birds. And I think that's everything. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including the last alternate model for this build, the official one. I might also do at least one kind of community-made mock model as well if I get permission from the the designer to make a video talking about their build, so maybe I'll do one of those, maybe I'll do multiple of those, but using the pieces that are within this set. And I'm also going to be covering tons of other LEGO videos, more creative 3-in-1, and then LEGO from all different themes, all different shape, size, price points, piece count, old sets, new sets, used sets, retired stuff. So tons of different LEGO videos coming. I might even try some different kind of LEGO videos talking about LEGO news and other stuff. I'm not terribly interested in doing that kind of video, but it might be something that I would be more interested in down the line, and I'm kind of testing some other things out, so we'll see about that. I also have a video for the Icons Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters, eventually, the big one, and I'll be posting that video. It might be Patreon or member exclusive, at least for a while, which brings me to the next point. If you wanted to support this channel by giving money to me and to the channel, you can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks, and I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks, and those are just there if people are able to and willing to support the channel because they like it or whatever. Those avenues are available. It is very appreciated. It's not necessary, it's not needed, but it does make a difference and it does help. So maybe consider checking those things out. It is very appreciated, and I think that's it. So with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.